Hey guys, hope everyone's doing really well today or tonight. I want to make a quick video on the importance of creating content, especially in 2025. And I'm not talking about just for the sake of doing things or just for the sake that you're bored. And look, that's a fair reason to create content, but I think there's a bigger, you know, important reason or factor behind creating content. Um, and we'll get into that in a second. But yeah, I just wanted to make this quick video and discuss the importance of it, why you should create content, how you can create content, the best way to approach it, and just some helpful tips as well as someone who's starting to create content himself. So hope you guys enjoy. So let's start with the basics. What I mentioned earlier is that you 100% need a personal brand in 2025. Now, a personal brand doesn't exactly mean you're an influencer or you're posting on TikTok or anything like that. But a personal brand is something that people recognize and they they find out a little bit more about you and who you are and why you stand out, right? An example of a personal brand could be writing a blog. It could be, you know, being on LinkedIn, for example. Um, there's lots of different ways. I mean, we can even talk off social media. Brands in person, being people kind of understanding who you are and what you stand for, etc. That would also be a brand of sorts. But for this video, I'm just keeping it strictly to content. Now, the world's becoming very competitive, right? A lot of people are creating you know, new content is being created every single day. Lots of it. People are creating new accounts to post content. So every single day, it's becoming harder and harder to become, or I guess to stay relevant with our personal brand. And look, I know I've noted here that building a personal brand will set you apart from the crowd, but it's almost becoming a fact that you need a personal brand to just be normal. So many people, even micro influencers, even people on LinkedIn, they're putting a lot of effort into creating content, which just means that they're standing out more than everyone else, and that means you need to work a little bit harder too. Now, a lot of people, I understand that like a lot of people would prefer to stay off social media and to not actually um, you know, engage in shorts and all that kind of stuff. And that's fine. And I think what you could do in that situation is take this, right? Take the idea of building content online to build a personal brand online is to, add value in real life, to build that in real life brand. Because if you're not on social media and that's not something that's important to you, you need to be doing something, in your local community or at work or in the industry that enough so that people can recognize you and you can stay competitive. Now, if you were to post online or even in person, just being personable and authentic and showcasing that will make you come off as memorable and trustworthy. A lot of people are dishonest and a lot of people are inauthentic and they're not themselves. So, you know, just presenting yourself as someone that is, willing to be human, just willing to be themselves, not afraid of what other people think will be or has proven to be very effective. You can see this, for example, in influencer marketing, where some of the numbers for return on investment, or sorry, return on ad spend, if you're purchasing ads with an influencer, is massive. Just because people really respect what other people have to say, like authentically, one person to another. If they really enjoy something and they're saying like, I genuinely really enjoy it. It's almost like a word of mouth referral almost. It's very powerful. Now, with a personal brand, there are both there are a bunch of opportunities, both within social media and other areas like your personal life, like I mentioned. Um, this could be, for example, from people, saying, "Oh, I know a guy; he'd be perfect for this job," or it could be, "Hey, we love your content. We'd love to sponsor you and send you through some free stuff that really aligns with your content." And these are opportunities that you don't get from not being known and not being known as someone who's authentic and willing and wanting to help other people and spread good news and um, and good information. Now, another great benefit which I've personally found really important was that creating content and building a personal brand attracts people that align with your thinking, your values, and your ideas. So, and this is hard to do nowadays. Back in the day, everyone would kind of gel with one another and they chit chat, and people just meet each other word of mouth, or they just bump into each other on the street, and then they become friends. Maybe not to that degree, but you know what I mean. It's a lot harder to do that nowadays. A lot of people are becoming more segmented from the world. They're kind of, isolating a little bit more. Um, People are resistant to kind of speak to other people in real life as well. And they've kind of turned to social media to kind of connect with other people. So, and look, this also applies to obviously, in real person, building personal brands, building a personal brand in person. But you need to, with a personal brand, you're able to kind of build those networks with people that actually truly align with your thinking and values, more so than someone that didn't have a personal brand and isn't able to kind of demonstrate what they value and what they want other people around them to also value. And for me personally, I found it's a really great way to build confidence and self awareness. I think it's very scary, obviously, posting something on social media because people see it and people judge you, or people might dislike it, or comment something really dumb, or people might be looking at it in real life and laughing at it. You could imagine the worst things in your mind, but the reality is, and people say this all the time, but no one really cares at the end of the day. Um, I mean, all you're doing is just spreading information, or talking about the things that you really enjoy, and there's nothing wrong with that. It would be fine if you spoke to, say, a group of people in real life, but as soon as you pop it on social media, it's a little bit weird. So I personally, I've kind of gotten over it a little bit, um, and yeah, it's been a great way to build confidence and just know that if I walk if I walk around, or if I walk into a room and people understand me because I talk about X Y Z, then they know a little bit about me and they can kind of just chat to me about that, and also know that I'm confident putting myself out there, because a lot of people aren't. A lot of people find that very weird. Um, I've also found that's really good for consuming less, because obviously, once you're done creating content, you're kind of sick of actually, consuming on that platform. So you'll kind of do less so of it. And obviously, that gives you more time to kind of reinvest back into your personal brand and grow that even further. Now, when it comes to building an audience, right, this is a byproduct of building a personal brand. So once you build a personal brand, you're then what you're doing is you're then investing in building an audience. Now, why would you want to build an audience? And this comes back again to creating content, because you're creating content for this audience, and that's why you've been able to build an audience. Now, an audience is I mean, having a bunch of people or a community that really appreciate what you have to share and really vibe with you is super super impactful. I mean, just some examples that I thought of quickly. Santa Cruz Paleo and Paul Saladino, um, with their no seed oils, their carnivore diets. This has been a really big thing that popped off in 2024, even a little bit earlier. But for me personally, this was really all over my social media, and it's been fantastic, because what they do is they spread really good information about seed oils, and what makes a really good diet, what doesn't make a good diet, and things you should look out for. These are things that you know without them actually sharing this with us directly, we may not have actually I may have not ever been exposed to this. So they're actually helping out people create real change in their life. I know so many people now that are buying filtered water. They're not going to certain fast food joints anymore, or establishments. So they've changed their life just from what they're seeing on social media. So certainly impactful. Um, I think as well, when you do have an audience, if building wealth is a really big priority for you, I mean, if the scale is really infinite, right? You can kind of you can go to the moon with the kind of ads you do as an influencer, or the courses you create. Things like affiliate income, they're really uncapped. They can kind of just go as far as they could, and you're able to kind of get yourself involved with more sponsors as you have more people. Now, you could do these things. For example, you could promote a course, or you could promote a product and get affiliate income. You could do that to a group of 10 people, and that's fine. But you could also do it to a group of 10 million people, or hundreds of millions, like what Mr. Beast is doing. And that just really, you're doing the same thing, but the leverage is just infinitely much greater, which means building an audience, it creates leverage for you. And that means that you're able to kind of just do the same amount of work, but just get a much bigger outcome. So it's fantastic from that perspective. It's kind of the whole, you can only work 40 hours a week versus, with an audience, if you can continually build something, it's really unlimited. There's no limit to it. When it comes to building an audience as well, something that's really interesting is the opportunity to kind of engage in partnerships and also collaborations with other people. A couple of examples I thought of was, co-branded products. I know, like for example, Adidas and Kanye West was, with Yeezys, a really popular one. Or just general networking with people and just being able to find people who you vibe with better, who align with your interests and values better. This can only kind of come about once you start to build that personal brand and build that audience, because people then recognize you as a leader in your field, or someone who's really interesting or really funny, and then they can kind of partner with you or collaborate with you over time. What's really interesting as well about an audience is, obviously, when you invest in creating an audience, right, you're investing in them. And that means that the community will grow with you and support your projects and ventures, or you would hope so, as you grow as well. So it's kind of like this reciprocal relationship where, you know, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. You're providing the content, and they're providing the audience, and it just creates a cycle where they get more and more ingrained, and um, they become real, almost friends, or potentially friends in your real life, because you've built this audience that actually wants the best for you. They want to see what you're up to. um, they enjoy keeping up to date with your content, and this is a really good position to be in, because obviously it benefits them, but also benefits you massively, in terms of leverage, and also just, I mean, the things you can do with an audience is just yeah so many opportunities. Now, some tips for creating content if you're stuck on what to do, right? And this is what I personally did as well. But first things first, I would test various different formats and types of content to see what you enjoy and what sticks with your viewers as well. Now, I've tried, Instagram, TikTok, Medium, Twitter, YouTube, everything, right? Lots of different ways. But I've also, within those platforms, I've tried different types of formats. So, video, text, reels, maybe stories, carousels, lots of different content and formats, right? And content could be finance, it could be real estate, it could be self development, it could be healthy eating, it could be anything. Try lots of different content and see what works for you. You might think you really enjoy something, but then you actually don't enjoy it once you actually start talking about it or start educating on it. So, be able to pivot and also see what sticks with your viewers. Your viewers might really vibe with a you know type of content or type of format. And look, it's up to you whether or not you want to pursue that if it doesn't interest you. But yeah, just try with different things, and you can kind of make decisions once you see what sticks. I would also, and this kind of comes back to the authenticity piece, but I would definitely focus on just being yourself and providing real value and being consistent. I've said here the loss is the most important, because consistency is what really stops people from actually achieving what they want to achieve when it comes to building a brand. A lot of people give up early because they think, oh, they're not good enough, or their content isn't the best, or I'm not sure what I want to do. And the reality is, consistency is the only thing that will separate you from the people that are actually successful. They're able to consistently put in the work, but also grow and innovate and learn more things. Super important. And when I say providing real value, I mean value could be entertainment. Value could be, you know, just chatting. It doesn't actually have to be monetary value or anything like that. It's whatever you determine to be valuable, and whatever your audience also determines to be valuable. And a lot of the time, that's just someone talking to them, or a lot of the time, that's some investing advice, or no advice, sorry, but information, and or health. Fitness, workout plans. All these kind of things are really important. Now, once you've been able to kind of see what works and you've experimented, right? What I would do is I'd look back on all your work, and I'd review the data. Any feedback you get in real life or any comments you get, also review, um, and also see what's going on in the marketplace in terms of trends, right? A lot of people post evergreen content, which is great, and by evergreen I mean content that can kind of be useful 10 years ago and 10 years from now. It's kind of content that sticks around. um, but also kind of trending content could work really well as well, because people are looking for those things at the time. For example, it could be politics, it could be Christmas, it could be anything that's happening in the world at the time. But definitely use that data and take that feedback and pivot where necessary, because there's nothing worse than just doing the same thing on repeat and getting the same result. You want to be able to innovate over time, and that's how someone like Mr. Beast or any successful YouTube channel has been able to do it. Now, once you started growing, you should actually take the time to invest in equipment and production, because once you've proven the idea works, right? If you can say put $500 into a decent microphone or a decent camera or a decent computer to do your editing, or maybe it's an iPhone, or maybe it's props, or maybe it's some equipment like painting. Whatever it is, make sure you can invest in yourself, because especially if your idea is working, or your idea is working and you're starting to enjoy what you're actually creating. Because what that's going to do for you is that's going to it's going to like exponentially grow your personal brand and your ability to make high quality content. So it's like kind of like a feedback cycle again, where you're reinvesting in yourself, you're creating good videos, or you're creating good content, or you're meeting great people in real life, and they're really enjoying being with you, and you're just recycling that over and over, and that's how you exponentially grow. So it will be slow, both in social media and in person initially. These things take time, but when you're able to hit it off, it's super valuable, super rewarding, and yeah, it's definitely worth creating content for. So yeah, hopefully you guys have found this video helpful. Um, I know I certainly have, I've started creating content. I've certainly found a lot of these tips helpful in my own personal life as well. And hopefully, yeah, I can kind of, implement some of these tips as I grow further and further with YouTube in this case. If you guys have any questions, let me know down below. But otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.